Senator John Kennedy, the great Senator John Kennedy. Senator Kennedy, if you heard the riff, I mean, again, I know there are disagreements with Canada. I never understood the 51st state business. It seems to me we can work out the disagreements. It also seems to me, Senator Kennedy, that when we're kind of aiming our guns, you know, our heavy, real heavy guns, I'd like to see them aimed at China, because the Chinese, in my opinion, are our enemy, not only geopolitically, but economically and trade. And they reneged on the Phase 1 deal. I spent 2.5 years under that. Bob Lighthizer was our lead. Steve Mnuchin, Wilbur Ross, and I, and some others. And they're the problems, it seems to me. Canada can be worked out, but what you think, Senator Kennedy?
Well, the people of Canada are our friends. The people of China could be, but they aren't allowed to be because of their government, the Communist Party of China. China is our enemy, unquestionably. China, and when I say China, I'm talking about their government. China is also in a bad way. Their economy is weak as rainwater. Their economy right now looks like somebody chewed them up and spit them out and stepped on them. Their unemployment is way up, particularly among young people. Their property market has imploded. Their debt is sky high, particularly at the local level. Their numbers, their GDP numbers are inflated. The other point I'd make about China, how can I put this? Trusting China to do anything other than what is in their best interest is naive and inconsistent with history and common sense. The Chinese government cheats. They do. They can steal your socks without taking your shoes off. Now, but they need America. They buy from us, or they sell us about 4 to 5 times more than we sell them. And that's why ultimately we will win in a trade war. Having said that, I hope that Xi Jinping in China has more sense than God gave a goose and is willing to step up and call the president and say, let's work something out. If he would do that, we could.
We could, sir, but I'd sit here not believing him. I mean, we spent 2.5 years. We spent the better part of 2018, 2019, and then the beginning of 2020. By the way, China was lying about the origins, the Wuhan origins of coronavirus. But, you know, they reneged on the commodity purchases for farmland. They reneged on the commodity purchase for manufacturing. They reneged on the intellectual property theft. They reneged on the forced transfer of technology. They reneged on American ownership of companies who operate inside China. Now, you know all this because we all debriefed you and you were involved in this. I'm just saying today, Canada's got some things to deal with. You know, they've got a digital tax on our companies. That's very bad. They've got a tax on our streaming companies. That's very bad. We got issues with Canada, but Canada, not the worst. China's the worst. You know what I mean? And I'd like to focus on this China thing. You see, what you just said on the economy. Here's one for you. Some of the Wall Street analysts are saying that China has stopped providing numbers on things like unemployment and retail sales and some of the property loan problems, the property debt problems, real estate, because they're so bad. What'd they do? Did they fix it? No. They just erased the numbers, so the analysts can't get at them anymore. What you think of that? Just erasing the numbers. Heck, I tried to erase some numbers once upon a time. Didn't work too well.
I agree with everything you said. Trust in God, but tie up your camel. That's what's got to guide you when you deal with China.
Yes.
As you know, Larry, you've negotiated with them. We admitted China to the World Trade Organization December 11, 2001. China started cheating December 12. But if we do reach a trade deal with them, we won't just trust them, we'll verify. And there is a way to verify what we're selling them and what they're selling us. But the Chinese tariffs and their trade barriers, they're just much more oppressive than ours are, which is why President Trump elevated ours. He's got their attention, but there's a way home in this disagreement that will benefit both sides. But President Xi is going to have to make a move.
Well, I hope President Trump keeps most of the tariffs on while we negotiate with China. The other thing is, right now, because we, who are China's best customer, right? China's losing its best customer, so there's rioting by factory workers running through a whole bunch of Chinese cities. And factories in China are being closed. And now I read in the newspaper that a lot of Chinese-owned companies are trying to move from China to the United States. Now, this guy, Xi Jinping, he thinks he's emperor. That's what people report back to me. But rioting in the cities, closing down factories, and I'm not talking about major companies, ordinary little Chinese businesses trying to relocate to Texas, Arizona, Sunbelt places that reward success, unlike China does. I mean, that whole story is in turmoil. That's why I would, let Canada fix Canada. We'll fix Canada. That's going to be easy compared to the China problem.
Well, look, I will bet you a soda and a nice hat that Chinese economy is not growing at more than 2%. Now, they say 5%. But they lie like they breathe. But we're going to have to wait them out. It's going to be painful for us, but it's going to be even more painful for them. And I'll say it again, their economy is weak as rainwater. Our economy is in much better shape than theirs is.
One more, while I got you here, Senator Kennedy. It's always great to see you and have you on the show. One sensible thing Mr. Trump's come up with, I really like this. He'll give $1,000 and a plane flight to any destination you want if these illegals self-deport. Now, it just seems too easy. It seems like what a wonderful offer that is. So I want to cross-check it with you. I must be missing something. He's going to give him $1,000 and a plane ride someplace for the illegals who self-deport. What does Senator Kennedy think of that?
Well, that's the businessman in President Trump. I think it's a wonderful idea. We'll spend I don't know, a couple $1,000 in removing people from our country, as opposed to having to track them down and put them in a detention center and get a court order. That'll probably cost $25,000. So I thought it was very shrewd on behalf of the president. Don't know how many foreign nationals are going to accept his offer, but I hope a bunch do.
What do you think about the Alcatraz prison idea?
I don't know what it'll cost to rehab Alcatraz. If it's cost efficient, sure. But I just don't know enough about the physical infrastructure. I think the president's trying to make a statement with opening up Alcatraz and saying this is going to be reserved for the worst of the worst. And so it may be worth every penny, even if it's not cost effective to rehab it. But I haven't seen any numbers. Well,
my biggest worry on that one is Clint Eastwood won't be there to star in the movie.
Yeah, and I don't know how serious the president is. You and I both know him. The president grows anxious when he has an unexpressed thought. He says stuff and thinks about it later. So I don't know how serious he is.
Well, I'm guilty of the same. We're all sinners, Senator Kennedy. We're all sinners. You and I included, sir. Thank you ever so much for coming back on the show. You're wonderful. We'll see you soon.